Jeff Koinange live here at Citizen Television. What a hot potato topic we came back to when it comes to politics. Goodness gracious me. When we have the MP for Cherangani, Joshua Kutuni, and the Senator from Kericho, Aaron Cheruiyot, in the House, you know it's gonna get smoky. Speaking of smoky, gentlemen, you know, there's a lot of what do you call it, psychophantasm and also double standards with you politicians when you want to evict the poor people as a smokescreen for the people with large tracts of land. I mean, everyone is, Maina Kagani just messaged me, he says, look, why don't you be bold enough and name the people who have large tracts of land out there? Just name them. Well, what are we scared of?
But they're here, and I've given you, you couldn't read their names.
No, the other, you read them. It's your report, you read them.
But it's your show.
Oh, you don't want to read them, you want me to read them?
No, I can read them for you if you want.
And they have, I mean, this is the report
Yes,
that is released.
Exactly. Including the names of all the big people that you can think of.
And nothing is being done to their piece of land.
Of course.
Mheshimiwa, I mean, what's up with that? Why the double standards?
Jeff, I think as I said earlier, this matter was discussed. In fact, in the report, and that's why I sympathize with my friend, he's carrying voluminous document, but he doesn't read. In the report, even if you have 100 acres, they only recommended that each will be entitled, if it is going to be resettlement, only 5 acres. And I remember the people who got the large pieces of land fighting very difficult for the report to go through, even at the time when it was being taken to the cabinet for approval.
Yeah.
So then the recommendation has very good recommendations and comments when it comes to this person who has small piece of land. For the person who has large piece of land, he's going to lose it. That's a matter of fact. And further to that, Jeff, and I want to also bring it to the attention of the public, that it is not even a Mau issue that we discussed. We even discussed another issue in Kamagut, where the military was sitting in some land, which 7 years down the line, the same people, they are still in the same problem, like this issue of Mau. You talk about Embobut. We still have people who are in forest, they haven't been resettled. All these issues, in Kipkurere, we still have some people who have not been resettled. And all these people, they were promised that the government is going to do something. And so as a way forward, let us avoid politics in this.
But are we going to wait till 2022 to find a solution? Is that what we're going to wait for?
Because I tend to believe that because the elections are just around the corner, and maybe some people are finding that the things are not maybe adding up, then they try to look for something that let's go and cry, shed tears, instead of sitting in the high office and sort out these issues.
Senator, you were in Kericho last week, and you said something to the effect that this is a proxy war in the Mau to influence the gubernatorial election in 2022 in Narok County.
You cannot rule that out, because if I have a genuine title, I mean, if you listen to the language of many of the politicians from that particular region, they are not even insisting that all the people that are living in a particular area, they are very specific about a particular community. And that is something that you need to keep at the back of your mind as you discuss this issue.
But I asked you this at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Is it a fight between the Maasai and the Kipsigis?
I don't think so, because they've been living peacefully for the last
Is it the
hundreds of
numbers?
years.
The Kipsigis numbers are rising as opposed to the Maasai numbers.
There's that element. You can't rule that out, because you've got to listen to what some of these people that are speaking conservation are saying. Because on with one side of the mouth, they are talking conservation, but when they switch to the local dialect, what they are saying is that we need to reduce the number of this particular group of people, and that is what we take great exception with. This issue needs to be handled in a very simple way. Forget about the long stories about the lands, what will have happened, and the memos that Joshua is talking about. We have said there's a very simple and clear process that is laid out. Between 2013 and 2018, the process that had gone on. And I have asked you a very simple question, Jeff. When you overflew Mau the last time that you were there, you saw what Nyayo T-Zone were doing in that particular area, creating a buffer zone between the people and the forest. Yep. That project needs to be brought to a conclusion, and that is what we are pushing for. But we have even added a rider and said, supposing there is new information that they feel they need to go further than what they had earlier demarcated, please follow the laid down procedure and get these people, one, either compensate them or give them land or maintain the status quo. If that is your solution. That's very clear.
What's your solution?
No, Jeff, allow me, because I can see so many people want to blame us as if we are anti-conservation. Yes. What we are opposed to at this particular time is the fact that Kenya Forest Service officers have shown up in the homes of people with title deeds and ask them to move without any alternative, any communication, any prior arrangement. That is what we are speaking against. But in terms of conservation, anybody that lives within the forest, we have been consistent as ever. They need to get out as soon as possible. And I think, to the best of my knowledge, because I know this for a fact, 99% of the people who are living there were kicked out in phase 1.
Get out and go where?
The guys that were living in the forest, they go to where they came from. These are people with their homes.
You see, that's what you're saying.
Yes. The guys, listen, where will they distinguish between somebody living inside of a forest?
When you people were seeking votes in the last election, you went into the same damn forest.
We didn't go to the forest.
Listen, MCAs that come out of that forest.
Jeff,
come on, guys.
Jeff, don't lose it. Don't lose it. No. I know this area better than you. I know it better than Joshua Kutuny. I know what I'm talking about. Masai Mau Trust Land is different from the forest. This is something you must distinguish. I cannot be mad to argue that somebody lives inside a forest. I am saying the people that live Masai Mau Trust Land, let us stick to the plan. The people that are inside of the forest, we have been consistent about it. It was launched in phase 1 and we gave it our support.
Trust land where you people were looking for votes in 17, now you're saying leave now.
Leave alone.
Jeff, why are you confusing issues? Please separate the two. There is Masai Mau Trust Land.
Right.
There is Mau Forest. Two different things.
I know.
Okay.
There's 21 out of 22. Remember
Mau
we
Forest.
talked about that. Yes.
Okay. Masai Mau Trust Land. Nobody has an issue with it. That's why we are complaining, because out of the blues, the CS has showed up in a place where people were living. The schools that they go to, they voted out of that place. They were gazetted polling station, and he wants to kick them out. That's the problem that I have.
Just listen to the confusion. Just listen to the confusion.
I'm confused.
Yes. So just listen to the confusion.
I'm confused right now.
And I've said that you don't carry all these documents, that you don't go through it. 2, prioritize the interest of the people. During the audit of all the Mau settlers, there were those people who were occupying the trust land, and there were these people who had encroached to the forest. And they stayed in the forest for over 13 years, 12 years. Then the law is very clear that those people, they must be resettled elsewhere. There were people, perhaps maybe they don't have where to stay. And the government had factored in, and up to today, the government has factored in. So the discussion that we should be having is that with the proposal and the reports that were there to resettle these people elsewhere, then how far did it go? 2,
so
when we talk about
what I need to know how different is what he's saying.
Let us speak.
Now, Jeff, when they talk about politics, I want to remind him that we factored in the political interest, and we had even to ask for the people who don't want to get out of the Narok, they will go to Transmara. And there was also available land, over 3,000 acres, which these people, they could have been resettled if they were interested, or they've got these issues to sort out this issue where the politics were coming to play, you know, to be at the center of this discussion. So I want to remind Harun that, Harun, we should not bring hypocrisy to these issues. People elected us to sort out their problems. They did not elect you because perhaps maybe you can talk better, or you are better than the other people. It is because they saw hope. Let us not go and cry with our people. Let us offer solution. Why are we in government? Or what is politics? It is to control resources and distribute.
Yep.
And that is why these people elected us.
And it's about the numbers, gentlemen.
And two, there was 18 billion. Where did it go?
Oh, he's still coming
from
back
the
to that
donors?
18 billion.
Yes.
Who are you going to blame for that, Mheshimiwa? You're going to blame? You're going to lay that at the blame of the Deputy President again?
As usual. You're being asked a question.
I will say very clearly that the report, all the reports are in his office, including the reports I'm talking about, the amount of money and the donor funding that was available. He should be telling us that when I took over office with all these documents, what did I do? Did I take it to the cabinet?
Listen,
these are
Jeff,
the issues that we should be discussing.
I don't think we came to this show to play blame game.
No, we didn't.
We are leaders.
We're trying to look for solutions.
We're trying to look for solutions and how we can move the country from this place. The one problem that I have with Joshua is that despite the fact that he speaks about hypocrisy, he doesn't understand it. He doesn't know that what he is doing is exactly, first of all, between you and I, Joshua, if we were to apportion blame, who carries the larger blame? I've been a senator for hardly 3 years. This man has been around for close to 15 years as a leader. Then he comes here and gives long lectures about the community. My friend, if it is about blame games between you and I, because we both come from the same community, you carry the largest blame.
Let me carry the...
Please forget about blame games.
Don't forget he was with ODM, then URP, then Jubilee now.
Then Jubilee now. So the thing is, please listen and join those of us who are speaking smoothly to this.
All right, gentlemen, let's look at some tweets here before it gets out of control, like the Mao. Stephen Onacha from Nairobi says, there's no problem, that's an SMS, there's no problem in Mao, we have a problem with leadership. Do you agree? It's not the Mao, it's the leadership. Using the Mao as a pawn. Johnson says, the problem we have is politicizing everything in this country. Serious matters, politicians just handle them casually. Look at our climate changing. This is a cold season and we have seen rain and sunshine a lot. People need to get out of the Mao because nobody should be living in forests, Jeff. Stop politicizing everything. You guys are being like Donald Trump, you know. He doesn't believe in climate change or global warming. Dennis from Mombasa says, Mao issue is becoming a hot potato indeed. However, going by facts, it doesn't matter who has or who has not a title deed. Everyone should vacate. If our water tower dries up and changes our climate pattern, we'll eat and drink politics of psychophancy. Do you agree? Everyone has to be moved out.
I have said I agreed. The person who doesn't agree with that is Joshua Kutunyi.
And I've said, Jeff, that there is a clear roadmap on the resettlement of these people. The people who are playing politics are Harun. And I want to tell them, stop going to cry with the people. Let us have this solution, and it is on the table.
Victor Kipkorir says, Jeff, those people should be compensated, not just chasing them away like they are not living.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, still more on SMSs, text messages. Mercy K from Nairobi says, my question is, what is the difference between these people in Mao and those people whose houses have been brought down around Nairobi as houses built on riparian land, road reserves? Why should they be compensated? Isn't it double standards?
They should be compensated because they have got genuine title deeds. They went to a government office and did a search, went to the land board, ensured that this is property that is available. They paid their money. Jeff, do you know why that place is called Sierra Leone? This is because this place is occupied by 100% soldiers who served in the Sierra Leone Peace Mission. When they came back home, all the money they got from this peacekeeping mission, they bought land with. Then out of the blues, a cabinet secretary appears and says, get the hell out of here. I mean, we must be a country that is governed by the rule of law.
That's why they call it Sierra Leone.
Yes.
Ah, good point. Sir Nixon Mburowa Dogere says, who amongst you, what the Dongo report said about Mao and why not read it loudly for us? Is that the Dongo report there?
No. But the Dongo report also captures about the issues of how these people found themselves here. Who sold them land, gives the details of the names and those particular details.
And those names are secret, or you just don't?
No. You have refused to read it yourself.
Oh, I'm not the one who brought that report. Could have been copy-pasted.
Who knows?
Peter G. from Nairobi says, anybody with a sober mind will understand the paramount importance of environment conservation, bearing in mind the dangers we are facing due to climate change and global warming. Let's face it, gentlemen, if that Mara River dries up,
it's bad.
It's over for us. It's over. tweets. Ngetich Elias says, resettling people from Mao is a good move by the government, but the manner in which Kenyans are evicted is worrying. They need to be humane. Let them first tell us who processed the title deeds to these people, then start by dealing with them. No one's willing to do that, gentlemen. Who issued the title deeds? Where did they buy this? Who did they buy this land from?
Remember, the title deeds were given by government.
Yeah, but there's,
and that's why we are calling the government to compensate and to resettle these people for the conservation of the water tower.
But there's some people who got title deeds and then resold the land.
But then the title is a title. It doesn't matter the matter title or the subsequent title that you were given after acquiring land. And the issue here is these people, they are legitimate owners and they should be compensated like anybody else. If you are doing the road, you must compensate these people. So the bottom line, and I want to remind the nation, Jeff, that this discussion had been closed. And in fact, there were quite a number of people who are willing to put money on the resettlement. So why are we discussing about the issue of Mao, yet it was an issue of implementation?
I'll tell you why.
Yes.
Because we have an election in 2.5 years. That's why. Do the math. Andrew Miricho. It's high time all political leaders work in unison to save the already destroyed Mao forest, failure to which we will be heading for a disaster. Don't need to be a rocket scientist to tell us that, absolutely. Douglas Kiplagat says, how on earth that the same government who issued the title deeds to Mao residents now says the documents are not genuine? Who did it? Who slept at work? Just go back to the drawing table and give us long-lasting solutions. Wow. Let's read one more here. Cornelius 94 says, solutions to Mao matters are at hand, but politicians are there to make political mileage over human lives and environmental conservation. Let there be utmost sincerity in evictions, human life, and environmental protection. Politics aside.
You see, Jeff, there's something that Kenyans need to understand.
Go on.
And I beg your indulgence if Kenyans can understand us. There is nobody who is arguing for anyone to live inside of the Mao forest. The current issue that we are discussing is properly covered in this report on page 30. The issue of Maasai Mao Trust land. This is totally different. I understand the confusion and I can see the struggle even in you because both are Maasai, Mao. Nobody is arguing for anyone to dwell inside of the forest. We are talking about something that is completely separate. This is a piece of land, just like your land in Kiambu where you have land. Jeff, you have a title for it. If tomorrow government decides that they want to build a railway on that particular place, there'll be a process. They'll come to you, they'll give you value for money, you will move.
I wish they'll do that.
We are asking the same to be done for the residents of Mao if they want, if government feels that there is need to take away this Maasai Mao trust land and have it be part of the Mao forest. Number two.
But then they're being selective.
Sorry?
They're being selective in who they evict.
Exactly, which is, that's why, you know, Jeff, I need to understand on whose side you are.
I'm not on any side.
Because when we speak,
yes,
you want to blame us for speaking and you say, oh, you guys are politicking, you're making, I am only representing my people.
Yes.
Just trying to speak out for them and
yet
say.
Nobody here is speaking for the Maasai. You see, he seems to have a problem with
but the guys who live in Maasai Mao, even Maasais live there. Even all communities of this country live that particular place. Don't make a mistake of assuming that it's only guys from my community.
Political.
Number two, Jeff, before we engage in any further discussion, even before we can talk about demarcation, we need to have a serious discussion about how do we plant the close to 30,000 hectares that lies bare up to this particular time. That's what I want to see.
No one's discussed that.
Yes, and that to me is perhaps even more urgent than moving this particular people.
Is this a dress rehearsal for 2022? The Mao, is it a dress rehearsal?
You know, Jeff, I ask myself a big question. In all those years that I've just taken you back, from 2007, 2013, we've been promising people that we will settle this issue of Mao. That is one of the reasons that people voted for us, to the man, expecting us to sort out this issue of Mao.
Right.
Today we are here discussing the issue of Mao being in power for 7 years. And are we not taking our people for a ride? And they voted for us. Do we want to wait until 2022 or 2030? And I always remind politicians that it might not be the way you expect. You might think that you will get it and you might not get it. So sort out the challenges of the people who elected you at this time, because you don't know tomorrow. So we are saying that with the time that is remaining, let us look for a solution. For the Maasais, and you've just asked a question, and I want to put it very clear, that their interest is conservation of Mau. Our interest is conservation of Mau. All what we are saying is how this Mau is going to be conserved vis-a-vis the resettlement of the people. So there is a solution there. And Jeff, I don't really want to, engage with Akina Harun on this issue. Let us have a separate discussion when it comes to the issues of conservation of Mau. The first money that came, by the way, and I want to say, the part of the money that came with the resettlement of the first group, some of it went to fencing some other forest. And some of the other forest has been secured. So the question is, what about Mau? Do we wait until 2022 or any election period, then we go and whip emotions
all
and
over
feelings?
Again. And then
2027,
and
then we bring people together. And then, Jeff, I keep on asking, that earlier before the people had asked, I had advised and we said, and I remember continuously we reminded that this thing will be handled. And I want to bleed the leadership of Rift Valley. I was here, Jeff, discussing the issue of maize. It was a big battle here. When we were saying the farmers deserves to be given good prices, we had to fight. People thought that we were playing politics, undermining someone, but eventually government gave us 200 shillings. Only the other day for the same people to push for the importation, we had to step up. We did not vote for the government to start fighting the same government. The agenda was very clear. So I want to remind everybody that we have the stakes in this government. And earlier before, people were saying, oh, why do you want, even earlier before, he was telling me, why do you want to look, the president to look like is for this side, is for this side. All politics is local. Even me today, I've got to address the issues affecting my constituency. So as leaders, we've got the responsibility to address the challenges, because it is believed that we understand those challenges and we know the solution.
All right.
So the solution, lastly, let us get the task force report, let it be tabled, let it be implemented. That is going to sort out
your solution, Senator.
My solution is plain and simple. Between 2013 and 2018, we never had this particular problem. I have narrated to you how meetings after meetings yielded to the demarcation, which is actually in line with what had been proposed here, that you need to demarcate, identify where is the part that the forest ends, where is the part that human activity is allowed from. And government did a meticulous process in partnership between Nyayo T-Zone, Kenya Forest Service, Kenya Water Tower agencies, and there was a process of demarcation.
And where we lost it in 2019 is when we began backtracking on what had earlier been done, and seeing the kind of statements we've been seeing the last few days, oh, this title deeds are a piece of paper, and that kind of debate. Then things flare up. To me, if we stick to the plan of what we had done before the previous years, ensuring that these people, these communities are properly taken care of, you have roads for them, you've got hospitals, you continue to build the schools that you have done for them, there was absolutely no problem in my opinion. But I keep on repeating, for Mau, and as well as the other water tower agencies, let us not be obsessed about this issue of saying, oh, where's the cut line, where do we need to move people from, before having a discussion of how do we plant back the close to 40,000 acres that lies bare up to this particular point as we speak. That is where we need to discuss from. That's why I told you phase one, to me, hasn't been a success, because after the evictions of 2005, 2009, 2017, they evict, and that is the end of the story. After eviction, and this is how we've been successful in it, how we've done it in Kericho, for example. For every particular part of the forest where there have been human invasion, people have been asked to get out, and at that particular point, you plant trees immediately. That is what we need to do. And it didn't happen on the other side.
On the other side, it didn't happen. That is where we have a problem. But then, again, there's an angle that I don't want us to miss, and this is where I have a problem with my friend Joshua. If you watch all my press conferences, I have listed properly the issues that I have with the CS, the issues that I have with the president and his deputy, because I believe they have a responsibility. These people went to that particular primary school that they are being kicked out of right now and voted for them. But Joshua Kutuny, I have told you, sees this as a political scavenging exercises as mud to throw at the deputy president. That's where I have a problem with you, my friend. If in every problem you only see a particular politician, this government is elected, a president and his deputy. How comes in every particular problem, all you think about is only one individual?
Aaron, let me take
That's where you lose it, my brother.
I am listening to you, Aaron.
If you want to be a proper leader, come, sit at the table with an open mind. Speak for the people of Mau if you want to speak for them. If you're looking for a political opportunity to score points, I think there are many things that we can do politics on, Jeff, but at least not on matters conservation.
But Aaron, also allow me to...
You get the last word.
You know,
you get the last word.
Aaron, also I want to, for you also to be a leader, to be admired. Once you've been elected, address the challenges that those people they've been facing.
That's exactly what
I'm doing. I want to tell you the responsibility lies with the leader who has been elected. It doesn't lie with a stone or Jeff here. It lies with the leadership.
So the people of
now
elected a deputy and
two. I've heard you clearly talk about the issue of schools that have been constructed and the roads. Nobody has problem with those roads. We are saying Mau should be conserved. The water tower must be protected, but at the same time, people must be resettled. So I want to ask you a solution. Give me a solution to this. Because I've not had you give a solution. I have given a solution, Jeff. And I've said clearly, and I've told Kenyans, that the task force report recommended, including identifying the pieces of land where these people are going to be resettled. They did an audit. They know the number of the people in Mau. They know. They also sourced for funding that was going to 18 billion. And it was not even government of Kenya money. It was donor funding. Grants for resettlement of these people. I want the report to be made public, tabled, and then the government to go back for this, and we want to be told, where did the money go? Who took the land?
Where did the money go?
Yes, and we will resettle these people, and we will have a long-lasting solution on this issue of Mau.
That Mau will not be solved today, and I don't think it will be solved for another 10 years because of politicians like you all. It's to your benefit. It's to your benefit that these people stay where they are. That's the bottom line.
Not true.
That's the bottom line. If it wasn't,
not true.
A solution would have been found. And you haven't.
I think we have a solution.
You are the leaders responsible.
I think we have a solution.
For what, 2032?
No. The current solution is what we have been doing the last 6 or 7 years.
All right, so go on.
Crying in the forest, in the Mau?
Yeah.
Instead of having solution?
Gentlemen, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Right.
Senator?
Thank you.
Asante sana.
Thank you.
Mheshimiwa, good stuff.
Thank you.
Chalangani Member of Parliament Joshua Kutun and Kericho Senator Aaron Cheruiyot here. It's a hot potato every time you look at it. Some experts even say it's a poisoned chalice. That's the Mau. What's the solution? Well, we're not going to decide that tonight. It's going to take a while. In the meantime, thanks so much for being a part of the show. Keep tweeting at Koinange Jeff at Citizen TV Kenya. The hashtag is JKLIVE. You know, every Wednesday, it's all about those 3 letters on the keyboard that follow each other. JKL. Thanks so much for being a part of the show. Good night. Good luck. And God help everyone in and out of the Mau. Gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.